Big T Steak Corner.
Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Now, over the years I've kind of caught myself hoarding / collecting Apple gadgets that are considered vintage or way out of date. But the key here is I don't really like to just take any old device. I like to take a device that has a firmware that's very close to its original, if not the original. So with that in mind, when I saw somebody selling an iOS 5.1.1 iPhone 4, I immediately had to jump on it. I thought that was really cool, and not only do I not own an iPhone 4, I don't own any iOS device on iOS 5. So I thought it would be really cool to pick up this iPhone 4 and fix it up, and then maybe take a quick look at iOS 5, but spoiler alert, iOS 5 is a lot more obsolete than I expected. In order for this project to be successful, we needed a donor phone, so I went out and I picked up a regular old iOS 7 black iPhone 4. I really wish it was a white one because it'd be really cool to have a white and a black one, but I just couldn't find any other white ones in my area. The only person that was selling it didn't answer me, so anyways, I have the phone here completely ripped apart, ready to go, and now we're going to actually unbox the iPhone 4 and just verify that it works. And then once we verify that it works, we're going to start taking it apart. Okay, so we're going to start tearing down the white iPhone 4 now. This is really straightforward. You just need to make sure to disconnect your battery, of course. It's a little bit of a pain to disconnect. Sometimes you can pull up on the little plastic tab there to get the battery out. It doesn't always work though. It didn't work with the black iPhone, but it worked with this one. The battery in this iPhone was actually in much better shape than the one of the black iPhone. It's only seen about 158 charge cycles, so it's at about 87% of its capacity. So yeah, I guess this phone was never really used much, but either way, it was very difficult to put the phone back together because almost every screw was a different size and I really needed to concentrate. So unfortunately I did not film that process, but it was very lengthy and a couple minor mistakes were made, but I went back and corrected them. I really wanted this to be a solid restoration. So with everything put back together, it was time to turn on the phone, and I was so happy to see that Apple logo show up. And once that showed up, we immediately began testing everything. As of right now, the only thing I haven't tested is pairing a device with Bluetooth and making a phone call because I have to unlock the phone. But as you can see, more or less everything works totally fine. We had audio and all that stuff, the camera worked. So I was very happy to see this phone finally have some new life. So as I foreshadowed, iOS 5 is really not that useful anymore. Well, I guess that depends. The phone works as a phone and that's about it. It looks very pretty, but the app support obviously is not there. It's not like iOS 6 where it still had a little bit of app support left in it. This is just, it's abandoned entirely. But I mean, some people really don't need Facebook or Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, things like that. People don't need that. Some people literally just need to make calls and take some pictures here and there, which this phone can do. But these are more collector's items at this point. So let's take a look at a couple apps that I did manage to actually install. Facebook basically didn't work. It wouldn't load your news feed, and I honestly think that's because of a recent change Facebook made. You could still see your notifications and you could see your posts if you got to them through your notifications, but it wouldn't show you that anybody commented anything or liked anything. So yeah, junk, doesn't work. Likewise, Facebook Messenger of course doesn't work. Everyone knows that by now. They dropped support. I didn't bother trying to put in the hacked plist file to make it work. I didn't want to jailbreak the device and it wasn't really worth it. But it's really cool. This is a really old version of Messenger, and the sounds it makes are the old version of Facebook Messenger sounds, which are really cool too, so that's a throwback for me. At the very least, Google Maps works, so you're not stuck with that horrible thing called Apple Maps. Oh, terrible. I was a little bit happy to see this working. I wasn't terribly surprised, honestly, because I don't think too much changed in the back end in the years since, but still, really, really cool, and you can definitely get yourself from point A to point B using iOS 5. Safari was hit or miss, kind of like with iOS 6, but much worse. For example, eBay worked relatively well. It looked a little weird, but it worked. But as soon as I tried to view a seller's profile, it actually soft locked the device. So yeah, don't go too crazy. I also tried YouTube and it just flat out didn't work either. So yeah, no YouTube on this device. And lastly, I want to mention that since this is an iPhone 4, you can use 3U tools to actually rip the SHSH blobs directly from the device, and that's exactly what I did. So in the case of a disaster, this device can be safely restored to iOS 5.1.1. Now that's what I call protecting your investment. And that's all there is to restoring this iPhone 4 with iOS 5. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and stay tuned for even more shenanigans in the near future.